It had been requested that I talk about the real meaning of intersectional because we know that it is used and appropriated, frankly, in a very incorrect way in popular mainstream liberal bullshit feminism. Today, it seems like the word intersectional is really actually used to mean trans women are women, quote unquote, feminism. I've seen it in like people's social media bios, like Tinder dating profile bios, intersectional feminist. And undoubtedly, it is always in reference to trans identified males. Nobody really seems to know what it actually means. So the term intersectional feminism was coined by Kimberly Crenshaw, a Black woman, to describe the ways in which feminism, the feminism of the time, was not meeting the needs and hearing the voices of all kinds of women. It was coined to describe the ways in which different kinds of women will have the shared experience of being a woman, right? They can connect on that, but they will have the differing experiences of things like race, class, ability, whether like physical ability, sexual orientation, all those kinds of things. So when we talk about intersectional feminism, we talk about including women from all different kinds of walks of life and considering their needs as well, right? The needs and the barriers faced of a Black woman are going to be different from that of a white woman. The needs and barriers faced of a poor lesbian woman are not going to be the same as the needs and barriers faced by an upper class heterosexual woman. We are all oppressed on the basis of our sex, that we're females, that we're women, but there's intersections with womanhood that present more barriers than others. So yes, we can all connect and relate to being females in a patriarchy, but it's going to be different for all women based on their different backgrounds, histories, sexual orientations, their race, their class, their ability, their access to education, their access to upward mobility. So, intersectional feminism cannot apply to trans women because they're not women, they're males. Intersectional feminism is about the different kinds of women and the different kinds of needs those women are going to have. But a trans woman is not a woman. They're males. So nothing can be intersectional for them. They're men. So the term gets appropriated and used incorrectly to mean including trans women in feminism, but that's not correct. I hope this makes sense. Radical feminism is absolutely intersectional feminism because it requires an analysis of race, class, sexual orientation, ability, privilege, upward mobility, potential, that kind of thing. Radical feminism requires an inward look at your own privileges and the racism, classism, homophobia, ableism, etc. that you might hold because of the various intersections with your womanhood. I'm a white woman who grew up poor, but later in my childhood, like in my teenage years, my parents were able to gain some upward mobility and brought us into middle class. I have the privilege of being university educated. I have the privilege of having the kind of job that comes with a university education. I'm a fully able-bodied individual. I am neurotypical. I am a lesbian, so that comes with some disadvantages, right? Like in a heterosexist patriarchy. So because of all of those things, they've shaped the way I look at the world, and it takes time, learning, and listening to understand the experiences of Black women, women of color, Indigenous women, disabled women, what am I trying to say here? We have to consider all of the different kinds of women and how their needs and their barriers of entry are going to be completely different from our own, because they face racism, they face ableism, they face a lack of access to not only physical spaces based on their disabilities, but things like information if they're deaf or hard of hearing or visually impaired. I hope those are the correct words. Correct me if they're not. But again, that's me being a privileged, able-bodied, neurotypical, like non-disabled in any way woman. I don't necessarily know if that's the correct language, right? But because I am a radical feminist and an intersectional feminist, I'm aware that I might not get it right, and I might need somebody to correct me. So that's a basic rundown on what it means to be intersectional. It has nothing to do with trans men. By that I mean males who identify as trans. It's about women and the different kinds of women, and the different kinds of experiences women have, and making sure that we account for that, consider that, and do our best to understand all of the different things women face, not just women who look and live like we do.